Reva Savendeer is a human female who was recruited into the Jedi Order from an early age. Just as every other Jedi usually did, Reva had to leave her old life behind so she could start a new path to become a Jedi Knight. However, 19 years before the Battle of Yavin, Order 66 came down and all Jedi were to be purged for treason against the Republic. Reva was just a young girl when the clones came marching into the temple with Lord Vader. The youngling group she was with was ambushed while training. The Jedi Master that was supervising them was Minas Velti. Unfortunately, Minas died trying to protect the younglings. Not too long after, Vader himself found the younglings and killed them, yet Reva was able to survive the deadly onslaught that was Order 66, despite being stabbed by Vader's blade personally. Reva hid under the bodies of her fallen friends and waited until it was safe to escape. Over the next 10 years, Reva spent her life living in wanting desire for revenge. In that time, she was able to make her way into the Empire's Inquisitorius, which was an elite group of Force users that were under direct command of Darth Vader. She intended to join the Empire from the inside so she could get close to Vader and her revenge for what happened with Order 66. However, Darth Vader had already sensed Reva and who she was, which led to her manipulation moving forward. Reva was oblivious to the fact her cover was blown from the start, so she proceeded with her own plan. Eventually, she became aware of Vader's obsession for hunting down Obi-Wan Kenobi, and she decided to use this to her advantage. If she was able to find him, then Vader would surely grant her favour and even more face-to-face meetings, which is what she needed if she was to ever catch him alone with his guard down. Reva became known as the third sister within the Inquisitorius and begins leading an ambitious search for Kenobi across the galaxy. Eventually, she is able to discover that Kenobi has connections with House Organa on Alderaan, so Reva goes behind the Grand Inquisitor's back to hire a small group of bounty hunters to kidnap the young Leia Organa in an attempt to lure Kenobi out to save her. Reva was unaware of the real connection between Leia and Obi-Wan and even Darth Vader. The plan was a success and Kenobi went straight for Daiyu, which is where Leia was taken. Reva waited there for Kenobi to show up. However, she was only able to catch a mere glimpse of Kenobi, but not before telling him that Anakin is still alive. Reva is the one who delivers the news about Vader still being alive. To clarify, Reva knows that Vader is Anakin Skywalker, as she did see him at the temple the day of Order 66. It's also way more than likely that one of the clone troopers verbally said the name Vader during the attack. This is how Reva knows it's Anakin in the Vader suit. Also, Reva had a special talent with the Force. She was attuned to the power of Force empathy in some way, which means she was able to somewhat read people's emotions. This was a useful gift for figuring out secrets. In fact, we actually see this happen. The moment before Reva confronts Kenobi, she was stopped by Hajar Estri, who was the con artist pretending to be a Jedi. Reva used her Force power here to read Hajar's mind and find out where Kenobi is. Anyways, Reva fails to capture Kenobi, but she did stab the Grand Inquisitor right before as she further embraces the dark side. With the Grand Inquisitor dead, Reva's ambitions grow. However, she knows she's in this for revenge against Vader still. Reva also bared feelings of hate towards Kenobi for failing to stop Anakin and save her friends. This is likely a complex that Reva would have had with any Jedi, but specifically with Kenobi because Vader was Obi-Wan's apprentice. After Kenobi fled, Reva was granted an appearance with Darth Vader, in which she was told that if she captures Kenobi, she would be given the rank of Grand Inquisitor, but death would be waiting if she failed. Using some of her minor new favour, she orders the other Inquisitors to dispatch probes to search for Kenobi. Eventually, a probe droid IDs Kenobi, and Reva makes her way to Mapuzo, which is the planet they were on. This time, Darth Vader joined them. While Darth Vader hunted down Kenobi, Reva was able to discover a hidden door within a building nearby. She appeared to be guided by the Force as she looked for her quarry. This hidden door just happened to lead to a secret tunnel that many Force sensitives have been using for safe passage. When she ventures to the end, she is able to intercept young Princess Leia and take her captive, which is useful because Kenobi managed to escape again. Now that Kenobi was gone, Reva takes Leia back to the Fortress Inquisitorius. They imprison young Leia, and after failing to talk to her, they put her on a torture setup. Reva herself is going to be the one to torture Leia. However, she finds it difficult to go through with it. In the end, she gets interrupted and doesn't start any torture or physical pain at all. The interruption, though, was Kenobi and friends infiltrating the fortress. Reva became distracted by an ally of Kenobi who was undercover, but Reva's force power was able to see through her facade, which resulted in them being taken into custody. Reva is proving to be capable with this power. It's likely that her hate and passion for revenge are helping to fuel its growth. When Kenobi escapes again, this time with young Princess Leia, Reva is punished for her failure, publicly.
You were born what defeat would bring.
Reva manages to save her own life by explaining that she was able to plant a tracker with Kenobi, which turned out to be a device attached to Leia's droid companion. Vader finds this information very useful. Using it, they were able to track Kenobi all the way to the planet of Jabim. Because Reva had successfully tracked down Kenobi, and she had helped uncover a secret route used by Force sensitives, Darth Vader granted her another appearance, and then further granted her the title of Grand Inquisitor. Reva humbly accepts this position as she believes she has earned it. Once again though, she still remains loyal to her mission of revenge against Vader. She just had to wait for the right time. Vader sends Reva and a legion of troopers to intercept Kenobi on the ground, but they were met with a big door that blocked the way. After some time, Kenobi decided to speak with Reva through the Force at the door. Obi-Wan is able to figure out that Reva must have been a youngling at the temple the night of Order 66. He was also able to figure out that she wasn't serving him, but actually hunting him. Reva explained to Kenobi what happened that night. Kenobi responded by trying to reason with her, saying that they want the same thing, but ultimately, she knew that she could only trust herself. She held some blame for Obi-Wan because Anakin was his Padawan. Reva didn't need help, she needed to do this alone. She lunges her saber into the door, but Kenobi responds by force pushing her several meters back when the door opens. The troopers then flooded inside the doors to root out the enemy. This time Reva was successful as Kenobi voluntarily surrenders and comes out to greet Reva. He once again tries to reason with her and quietly explain that together they could take Vader. Kenobi also tries to plea to Reva's humanity by saying that she becomes what she seeks to destroy by allowing the Empire to capture or harm the others inside. Reva decides to allow Kenobi back inside the bunker, although she does this quietly, likely so he can help the others escape before Vader arrives, which moments after he does. After Vader misses his chance to capture anyone, including Kenobi, as they flee on a ship, Reva takes her chance at striking Darth Vader while his back is turned. However, he had already sensed the deception. Darth Vader then proceeds to completely humiliate Reva in a lightsaber duel, proving she was never strong enough to defeat him. Vader plunges his saber into her body once again and leaves her for dead, but not before the actual Grand Inquisitor shows up once again, which reveals that Reva had been played the entire time and that Vader knew who she really was. They left her there alone to die. However, Reva survived her injuries and then found a leftover datapad nearby, which held some information that alluded to Luke Skywalker on Tatooine. Reva was able to quickly figure out who Luke Skywalker was, and then she made her way to Owen Lars' address as she connects the dots that were quietly laid earlier in the show. Full of revenge, hate, despair, and many other emotions including failure, Reva decides to head for Luke Skywalker in some attempt at revenge on Vader, despite him not knowing about his own kids. When she eventually finds her way there and has the opportunity to kill Luke, her inner light reveals itself and she spares the child. Reva then takes Luke back to his aunt and uncle. Obi-Wan is also present. Reva's story so far comes to an end here, as she speaks with Kenobi and asks him whether or not she became Vader herself. Obi-Wan tells her that she chose not to become him and that now she can choose a different path. We're likely to see Reva again in some way. However, she'll probably be fighting for the other side this time around. Reva seems to be an interesting new character. I think the show maybe could have done with explaining a few things sooner, but either way, the story holds up for the most part. What is actually really cool is the original concept for Reva's story, which they ended up changing. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that video. Thank you for watching this one, be sure to let me know what you think about this character in the comment section, and I'll catch you in the next one. May the Force be with you.